Corporation or our participating sponsors.
The following is paid programming. The views are not necessarily those of this station. We are the talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
We are back. 1690 WVON. This is the talk of Chicago. Straight words with Brother Naba'a Richard Muhammad, Brother BJ Murphy, Brother James G. Muhammad. We are here with you, and we want you to donate to our program, brother, to keep our show on the air, giving you content, talking about, what's black, what's strong, what's con every Tuesday night. We make no apologies for who we represent, what we represent. We love y'all. This is our time. The black man and woman, it's our time to rise, and you need unapologetic voices on the air to give you a platform to speak your mind. And we want you to call in, as a matter of fact, at 773-591-1690. Get on the phone line, 773-591-1690. But you can donate and help us stay on the air. Go to your Cash App and hit $ straight words. $ straight words on Cash App, on Zelle, 312-480-9775. That's 312-480-9775 on Zelle. And on PayPal, it's straight words, the number 4 at gmail.com. We definitely appreciate anything that you donate. Brothers, y'all want to add something to that? I like when y'all give your take on how people should, support the program.
Well, brother, I would say, like, if you turned on the radio at this time and you didn't hear anything and you thought you was going to hear this program, then that means it's something you want to hear. So I would say, make a donation. Help us to stay on so that day will never come, that you won't hear this program.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, Brother James, you make a great point, because so often we end up reminiscing about that which was, because we didn't preserve, defend, and protect it. I got to say this, brothers and sisters. Doing this is not easy, But I got a call from a brother today, man. I'm not going to get into the subject matter because we haven't locked down that we're going to have somebody on the show to talk about it. But it is such a story that must be told that I'm looking forward to bringing that person on next week, inshallah. And we're going to give someone a chance to really tell an incredible story, brothers and sisters, that I think will touch us all. So when you give, and it just brought me back to why we started doing this in the first place. We got to speak with a man's voice.
Right.
And we cannot keep thinking like little children that people who have taken advantage of us are somehow going to rescue us. It's not going to happen, brothers and sisters. And we may try to hope that it'll happen, but it's not. So give, Brother BJ, tell the people how to give again. And I think in this hour, man, I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Talk about.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think in this hour we'll just kind of get through some stuff. We'll talk about maybe some of the Netanyahu stuff. We're going to come back with this Biden and Morehouse and black men. I'm sorry, brothers and sisters, but so we will do that maybe the first hour next week or the second. I promise you. And maybe we'll get somebody to come on with us and talk about it. I think this week, call in if you're still out there. Add to, take from, and we're going to talk about these warrants against Netanyahu and Hamas, and we're going to talk about some other stuff that's in the news that we need to know about. So, brother BJ, tell the people where to send that money. And
I put the Cash App right now, brothers and sisters. I know your eyes getting heavy, but you got your phone right beside you. I know you do. So open it up. Open that Cash App up. $ straight words. $ straight words on Cash App. And on Zelle, 312-480-9775. That's 312-480-9775 on Zelle. And on PayPal, it is straightwords, the number 4 at gmail.com. And if you missed any of what I said, you can always go to our website, straightwords.com, straightwords.com, and all that information is up there where you can donate. So, again, brothers and sisters, we don't take y'all for granted. We thank you for every dime, nickel, and quarter and dollar that you send. We appreciate it. Thanks for the love. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I thought, brothers. Go ahead. Was that you, Brother James?
No, sir, go ahead. That's you.
You know, I thought that maybe we could get into some stuff. Of course, we know that Mr. Biden spoke, you know, Sunday at Morehouse. Made some interesting comments. I'm not going to get that deep into it. Like I planned. But the Democrats is in real trouble, brothers and sisters.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
They're in real trouble now.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, so what we going to get out of it? You hear what I said?
Oh,
if they're in real trouble, let me say this. Because we be letting them tell us we can't afford for the Democrats to lose. My question is, how bad do the Democrats want to win? And do they want to win? How bad do they want it?
What do they want to win, Brother Naba'a?
I'm talking about if you don't want, if you don't want black folk walking away from you, Democratic Party. If you don't want black men walking away from you, Democratic Party, because your numbers been slipping for decades. What are you willing to actually do? We saw what you were willing to do for the migrants. We've seen you've been willing to give billions to Israel. We've seen you've been willing to spend billions on war in Ukraine. So and this is Mr. Biden and his government now. We've seen you, Mr. Biden, how you stand up so strong for Israel, where you got an ironclad relationship. You hear that? And you ain't never turning your back on Israel. Have you ever said that about black people, Mr. Biden?
Wow.
I'm never turning my back. You ever said that, Mr. Biden? Or do you think that we're a convenient tool and a slave? So I'm just asking a question.
Yeah.
I'm just asking a question. Since people love to try to bully us and scare us. Well, Brother James, I've been watching the boogeyman since Reagan. What was that, like 86, 82, 84, something like that?
Yeah.
Every 4 years they bring out a new white boogeyman, except Trump might be the real thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do?
Trump tomorrow, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's the question, brother. What are we going to do, man?
You got them trapped. You got them trapped in a corner because
I think a lot of guys is country trapped.
Yeah, you got them trapped.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like we instead of looking at ourselves as being in a powerful position, like we're going to determine who's going to be the president. Oh no, let me put my list together right now.
Yeah.
What I want.
Right.
But you've had people that try to do that, and you're so tied to the Democratic Party that here Ice Cube tried to negotiate something for our people. Let me tell you something. This was when Trump ran the first time, right? Ice Cube don't need to do nothing in terms of his personal welfare. You hear me? Him and his family is well taken care of. But here's a black man that stood up and said, let me try to negotiate something. You didn't even look at what the man tried to negotiate. Because the Negroes started clamoring that he was for Trump. But what did you get from Biden? I was reading something the other day, brothers. Well, I was listening to and Biden was talking about all the things he's done, money invested in the country and all of that. But then I read an article where the mayor of Chicago was talking about Chicago's problems and Chicago's loss of population.
Yeah.
Because people aren't getting jobs. They can't afford to live in the city. They're having trouble with the schools. They're concerned about the violence. So my question is, where's all this money that's being invested? See, one of the problems is black folk ain't seeing it.
Yeah.
So when people talk about what has Biden done, stop trying to act like people don't know what they're talking. Like people don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
And like they don't have a right to have a different thought in their mind, man. We're not slaves anymore. Ask big beach back body Butch.
Bleach blonde is a bleach blonde butch body.
Butch body, yeah. We gotta memorize that.
But yeah, brother. To me, I mean, when I hear there's a couple things. I think the America's in a tough spot, man, and Biden's in a tough spot because if he makes the moves you're saying toward black people, like you were saying, the thing that dealing with Nancy and Sienna, whatever her name was, Sienica, you know, he didn't want to push them too hard. Well, if he makes a move toward black folk, his white folks gonna start jumping off the boat. He's got that problem in Gaza now, you know. So they're in a tough spot, man. Very tough spot.
Let me ask y'all this: do y'all think that black people are deep down inside that they're afraid to know the truth about how white liberal Democrats really feel about them? They don't want to press them too hard because they don't want to get their feelings hurt. Because they know the answer to that question, but they don't want to hear it because they have nowhere else to go in their minds as far as like a political party. So
I
don't you want to go ahead?
No, I was going to say, brother, I think some of the true believers feel like that. It's the true believers in the Democrats, by the way. But not the masses of our people, man.
Right.
And that's why the more and more of our people, they're saying something that's very simple. I want something for my daggone vote, man.
Right.
When it's going to be my turn? When? And I think this is the frustration that has driven many of our people into Trump. I don't think that's a wise move because Trump ain't even promised to give you something.
Nah, he ain't.
So you basically going from one plantation to another. Yeah. You leave Mr. Biden, and now you're gonna go over to Mr. Trump. Come on now. But I think that I think, Brother BJ, your question, I think some of us don't want to know the truth.
Yeah, they don't want to know.
That are loyal. But we believe we should be loyal. Or we believe we should be loyal. Or we don't see another way out.
Yeah, that's the point.
So,
that's the point.
So we kind of just stay there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think most of our people, most of us, don't see another reality outside of the one that we're already in. We don't see a reality without white folks. We don't even, you got African countries where there's just black rule. A lot of them are in a mess because of the interference that white folks bring to the countries. And, so a lot of that is going on. But here in America, I don't think when the messenger said separation, we've never thought about that. We don't even know what that looks like. What do you mean? What does it even look like? Well, how are we going to have a separate state? They're not going to give us a separate state. That'll never happen. And if we get one, the niggas going to what is it going to look like? You're just going to have a bunch of niggas, so.
I got to live next to little Ray Ray. I got to live next to little Ray Ray.
No, Junebug, man. Junebug.
Oh, no, man. That nigga almost shot him last summer. I almost shot him last summer, man. I can't do that.
We never thought about it. I mean, we never imagined it. So that's what I think one of the issues is. We just never even imagined it. Even though we read about it all the time in the Bible, and we say we believe in the Bible, and read all these stories about people just being liberated, et cetera, et cetera. And, and the big thing to me is that we don't realize that the people that the book is speaking of, it's us, in terms of being in bondage for 400 years. We don't, and the Jewish people have co-opted our legacy of our future, our promise, and they keep us from raising legitimate concerns by labeling everything that is critical anti-Semitic. I kind of refuse to even let folks use that language, because when I look at it, I see that, hey, if Palestinians, aren't they Semitic people? Aren't Arabs in that area? Aren't they Semitic people? Well, if you say I'm anti-Semitic, that means I'm anti-them. Well, no, if you mean I'm anti-Jewish specifically, okay, then say anti-Jewish. But that's not what I am. I'm not saying that that's what I am, but I'm just saying in terms of use of the term, either say anti-Zionist, and if somebody's against Jewish people just because they're Jewish, yeah, that's anti-Semitism. Yes, that is. But the way it's used now, no, we that's the problem. I think we should not even allow that to be defined the way they have usurped that term to only mean anti-Jewish in order to stop any criticism. Because those folks, all of them are Semitic people. So,
as long as white people, like Minister Ishmael said it over the on Sunday, as long as white people are in control, you ain't gonna never be free. And until that's a fact. That's an actual fact. They have the power to tell you no in any institution that you go into. And if you want to continue to live like that in this short life that we have, then I feel sorry for us. But some of us don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. I rather pare down and what they call minimalism. I'd rather live off less. You know what I'm saying? And be a free black man, not having a white man to tell me what to do every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and it may take that,
insane.
It may take that, BJ. When you start out building a nation, you don't start out with luxury and good homes.
Right.
You start off struggling. If we were given states, we'd have to go down, develop the land. Of course, they would have to help, as the Honorable Mama said. Help us to get off our feet. But no, we got to till the ground. We ran from farming. That's why we don't want to farm anymore, because of the hell we caught doing it for white folks for so long. But that's the basis for a nation, farming.
Yep. And remember that the minister said, because he was talking about we're going to rebuild and cut the underbrush, and Honorable Muhammad told him, no, we did that, brother. Tell them just get out.
Get out.
Right.
Yeah.
Just get out.
We move in.
We're going to move in. And then you can help us with whatever we need. Yeah. But I think, brothers, that brother BJ, you have a different vision of what reality can be. And brothers and sisters, if you're out there, we're hoping that you are. Call in 773-591-1690. We're kind of doing a roundup, talking about different stories now in our last 35 minutes, and we're hoping to get you to donate. So please make your best donation. Dollars, if you got Cash App, $ straight words. $ straight words. If you got Zelle, be like James G. Muhammad and send a little something to 312-480-9775. That's Zelle. 312-480-9775. And if you got PayPal, you're going to go straight words and the number 4 at gmail.com. And I promise you, brothers and sisters, by Allah's grace, we're going to deal with Biden and Morehouse next week. I'm sorry we kind of got a little bit off track, but I hope you've enjoyed the program. And I hope it's offered something maybe a little different tonight. But I think we did deal with some serious issues. I think we showed how this thing with Congressman Crockett and Marjorie Taylor Greene, we've been joking with it in a way, but we've also showed the serious side of it and what it kind of portends, or what it says, not just about conflict between them, but conflict within this country and our inability to live together in peace. We talked about the P. Diddy situation, but we really talked about the value of black women. We really talked about the need to end domestic violence. We really talked about the need to develop healthy black male-female relationships. We talked about the development of healthy black men and healthy black women and healthy black children and healthy on all areas. So we're hoping, that you got something out of this, and that you've enjoyed it, because this is it's wonderful, brothers and sisters. Like I said, this is not easy work to do. Do it for love. When you do it because you've got a purpose, and this thing, brothers, next week, if we do this story next week, man, I'm telling you, it is going to be so. It's really going to be something. I'll say it like that. To hear, it's really going to be something to hear. But it is one of those stories that we should be hearing about that we're not, and that is why it is so important that we do what we do for ourselves.
That's right.
Can't keep waiting around for the enemy, the one that's man. Come on now, brothers and sisters. You won't even let your ex give you a plate of food. You be like, she's trying to kill me. You won't even go to the cookout and eat if she cooking. If she cooking, you won't be eating.
Right.
Right? This is somebody you broke up with, right? Shouldn't have been cheating with her sister anyway, brother. You knew that. But anyway, you broke up with her. You won't even eat if she's at the cookout. You won't cook, or you won't even go. But we keep believing that these people are going to save us, man. It ain't going to happen.
You mentioned something about Netanyahu and the warrants on him?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So you know that the International Criminal Court has now filed arrest warrants for members of Hamas and for Israel, including Mr. Netanyahu, for crimes against humanity and war crimes. So this warrant that was taken out, basically, the Israelis who are charged of Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, Yoav Gallant, the Minister of Defense.
But wait, hold on, Brother Naba'a, that they are seeking arrest warrants. They haven't been issued yet, right?
Right. They're seeking arrest warrants.
Right. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Yoav Gallant, the Defense Minister, and so the International Criminal Court is saying that they bear responsibility for the following war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in the territory of the state of Palestine and the Gaza Strip from at least the 8th of October last year. Starvation of civilians, rather, as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering or serious bodily injury or health contrary to these same prohibitions on cruel treatment, willfully killing contrary to lawful combat, murder as a war crime, intentionally directing attacks against the civilian population, a war crime, extermination and or murder contrary to articles about warfare, and including in this context the deaths caused by starvation as a crime against humanity, persecution of a crime against humanity, other inhumane acts. This is just them beginning to lay out this case, brothers. They've also given some similar things about some leaders of Hamas.
Hamas, yeah.
Which the leaders of Hamas have objected to, and some of the Gazans have objected to, because they argue that as a people under occupation, they have the right to arm resistance. They have a right to fight. But I think when you listen to Mr. Netanyahu, I mean, if he ain't the most pompous, self-righteous, self-aggrandizement person who just declares Israel has done nothing wrong.
Exactly.
But all he talks about is the killing of Israelis October 7th by Palestinians who suffered for over 70 years, man. So now you've had 35, listen to this, 35,000 Palestinians killed in Gaza. You're not even talking about the ones in the West Bank that are being killed, right? You got thousands more that are buried under rubble. And you got thousands more that are injured. But he swears Israel ain't done nothing wrong. Man, you cannot live with these people in peace, brothers and sisters. They are of their father. They are of their father, the devil, and the works of their father they shall do. Keep watching them. And your President Biden is backing them. And your tax money, instead of going to improve your schools, instead of going to improve your neighborhood, instead of true economic development and entrepreneurship, backed by billions. Mr. Biden said at Morehouse in his address this past Sunday, he said that his administration has given about $16 billion to black colleges. We give him one clap for that. Thank you, sir. But you then gave $16 billion, and that's over 4 years, Brother James and Brother BJ. That ain't in 1 year. That's over 4 years. But you then just gave $18 billion to Israel, and that ain't the first money dump you didn't get on them.
That's right.
So, brothers and sisters, we need to be paying attention.
That's right.
Have you seen how that man spoke up? He came out totally strong. There's no equivalency between what Israel does and his. So here you are, Mr. President Biden. You steadily saying to Israel, you need to be more careful about killing Palestinians. So when the court comes and says, wait, these killings are wrong and it's genocide. No, it ain't genocide. Israel is being careful. This is white world power, man. Wow. Back in white world power.
It shows hypocrisy, man. That's the hypocritical stance that Mr. Biden and the U.S. government is taking, man. If what they're doing is not genocide, I mean, if the Palestinians were doing the exact same thing to the Israelis for as long as the Israelis have been doing it, I mean, the whole world would have put pressure on the Palestinians to stop whatever they were doing. They would have brought the power of the UN and everybody else upon them. But for some reason, since it's reversed, some reason it's double standards. There can't be the same set of rules here, even though it's obvious. I mean, if this is not genocide, then what is genocide? And it's obvious that's what's happening, but the whole world is just standing by, making some effort, little effort. But, like you said, when America had the opportunity to really show that they meant Israel, you need to stop doing this, they took a pass. Right. And so,
isn't this a test? Isn't this a test of the moral character of the whole world? When you're watching this, you're watching this, right? And you got an election coming up, and the moral dilemma that people have is that I know Biden is wrong, but I can't say it because I got to vote for him against Trump because we don't want Trump to get in. So I'm going to act like this is not really going on. So I'll keep my mouth shut because I don't want to let Trump get in office. But look at how God has permitted this circumstance to come up, where you can really see who people are and their moral stance against him using our tax dollars to kill people. You're dropping aid from the sky on one, you're dropping bombs on them at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is wicked, man. This is wickedness in high places.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the scripture says we war not against flesh and blood, but against the powers and the rulers and the darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what you're looking at. And the people can't make a decision on what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah,
because we choke with fear. We choke with fear on doing what's right.
And he still could lose a lot of the young vote that he needs as well. Even,
Yeah. Yeah, and one of their problems, Brother BJ, is many are not afraid. That's their problem now. The elders might be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
The elders might be afraid.
It's the elders.
But you got plenty that are not afraid, man. And that's why they're trying to crack down on free speech, cracking down on the students, really cracking down on anybody. But I was just some things I wanted to. You look at and the International Criminal Court. This is a court that arrests individuals. Okay, they can't bring charges against countries. That's the difference. That's the difference between what they're doing and the other court that is bringing these charges against Israel, or wants to bring charges against Israel as a nation. Then you look now. Look. Two things about this International Criminal Court, right? One, the court has been criticized over the years for going after African leaders and a few others, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long history of going after quote-unquote African leaders. They had warrants against Brother Muammar Gaddafi and his son Said. They've had warrants against Sudan's former president Omar Bashir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They've had warrants against Kenya's deputy president, then deputy president, William Ruto in 2016. They've had the court indicted Laurent Gbagbo, the former president of Haiti. He was indicted in 2011 for acts committed during violence after the country's 11 in 2010. He was acquitted though in 2021. So there's a lot of there. So that's one thing, but the court did come up with an arrest warrant against Mr. Putin in March of 2023. This is for crimes they say committed during Russia's invasion of Ukraine, including taking children away, taking Ukrainian children and taking them into custody and then moving them into Russia. So basically, the power of the International Criminal Court is that it has it's based in The Hague. It doesn't have a police force, but they have 124 member nations that are part or recognize the authority of the court. The U.S. does not. Did you hear what I said? Israel does not. Did you hear what I said? They don't recognize the authority of the court because they don't want nobody having the ability to bring them into order or to bring them the consequences of what they do. So anyway, there are 124 member states, which includes most of the European countries that are part of the International Criminal Court. So that means if you are given, if this warrant is put out against you, and if you travel to one of the member nations, then you could be arrested and you could be tried. Now, you could also in some cases be tried for some of these crimes in your own country. But it's amazing to me how America is able to rule and to decide, what everything is going to be. But I thought about this, right? I thought about, Mr. Biden and his strong defense of Israel, his ironclad support for Israel, right? Mm-hmm. But when you are a co-conspirator in crimes against humanity, really, because Israel couldn't do what it's doing without the backing of the U.S.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And, so now if Biden is giving Prime Minister Netanyahu billions of tax dollars, 2,000-pound bombs that devastate refugee camps, villages, cities, hospitals, and if he's backing this assault that's taking 35,000 Palestinian lives, that's introduced, and other policies that's introduced famine and death stalking a defenseless population, if you wrapped up in supporting that, what can you do but say, no, I'm going to reject those charges. You are part of the atrocities. Matter of fact, you are an accomplice.
That's right. Wow.
You're an accomplice.
Wow. I'm going to tell you another thing, brother. My heart dropped when I was watching the news on Sunday night when we saw that Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi died in a helicopter crash.
Yeah, man. And there was a lot of that's right fodder for a lot of so-called conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Some of which may be true.
Well, we don't necessarily know right now if Israel had a role, but we do know that Israel has a policy and a history of killing, in particular, Iranians, high-level Iranian scientists, and other I want to say military and political figures. So it's certainly not out of the realm of the imagination. We just don't have the actual facts yet.
Yeah, they just killed that general with the bomb in Syria.
Yeah. The Hamas leadership you talking about?
Yeah. But wasn't he Iranian?
I'm trying to think.
He was in the Iranian embassy.
Yeah, it was one of their generals.
Yeah. It was Iranians. It was Iranians that were killed.
Yeah.
And then before that, you had Soleimani. Right. You had Soleimani that they killed
in Iraq.
Yep.
That the Israelis killed in Iraq.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was Iranian, though.
Yeah.
Soleimani was Iranian.
Yeah, but he was in Iraq.
In Iraq. Yeah.
Yeah, when they killed him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the foreign minister was on the helicopter with the president of Iran. So that was two heavy hits that they took.
Mm.
Two heavy hits, man.
Yeah. Well, we better pay attention and we better understand there's a much bigger feud going on in the world than Kendrick Lamar and Drake. We got a much bigger feud going on, man. That's really life and death.
It's very true.
So yeah.
You can get distracted.
Now, right. Yeah, because listen, the God is angry because I heard the weather report in Chicago. I was thinking about y'all. They was calling for some heavy rains and some hail and tornadoes in the Chicago area that you don't have no tornadoes in that area.
It's supposed to be tonight, supposedly.
Oh, wow.
Sometime
so,
tonight.
when I look at Gaza and I say, oh, my God, the minister told us to watch the weather, and God uses the weather as a weapon of justice. So I think we're going to be in for something this summer.
Big time.
Because they're already calling for record heat. They're already calling for record heat this summer like it's never been before. So, I mean, we just got to pay attention, like you said, Brother Naba'a. We got to pay attention to the signs because we are living in that time.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, man, it's You know, as we look at what's happening, and brother, now about why should we be paying attention? Remember what the minister said to us, and he has said to this. He said it at Savior's Day in Detroit in February, but he said it consistently because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it consistently. Watch what you see over there, right? Coming over here. So right. I wanted to just kind of make some distinctions, right? So the International Court of Justice. This is the United Nations. This is the major United Nations judicial body for settling disputes between countries, right? The International Court of Justice, ICJ. The International Criminal Court tries individuals. The International Criminal Court is a permanent court based in The Hague, unlike temporary tribunals, such as those set up to try grave crimes committed in the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda. Lastly, according to ICC documentation, the court's policy is to focus on those who, quote, bear the greatest responsibility, according to ICC documentation. The court's policy is to focus on those who, quote, bear the greatest responsibility for the crimes committed. No one is exempt from prosecution, and there is no exemption from the heads of state or government. Mm-hmm. But Netanyahu, he don't want to be charged. He don't recognize no authority but his. Right. He ain't going to court and let nobody judge him. I mean, if you listen to how he responds, he's really outraged. Yeah. And if you listen to other, but not just him, listen to these Caucasian lawmakers and these people right here in the U.S. They talking just like him. Yeah. They talking just like him. Like, this is outrageous. But you got thousands of Palestinians killed. You got like a million of them, over a million, at either starving or at risk of starving. But you don't see that, you know? So this is why it opens up the way, brothers and sisters. You can accept it or reject it for God's movement himself. And we're not talking about some mystery, spooky, dookie God. We're talking about the divine supreme being. Take it or leave it alone. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us this. That's right. And that man knew what he was talking about. That's right. We're watching it happen right before our eyes. We're watching.
That's the point. Everything he said, you watching it happen right before your eyes. Yeah. That's right. Everything. From the weather to what he instructed the minister to do, I mean, when you think about it, he said, you know, y'all gonna leave me. And then the minister, well, no, all of us? Yeah, all of us. You're gonna leave me. How did he know that? And then he said, too, he also said, you know, hey, the nation's gonna fall, but it's gonna rise and never fall again. Well, the nation fell. How did he know that? But then how did he know that it would rise again? I mean, how? How did he know that? You know? And God willing, you know, it's not going to fall again. But how did he just know that? How did he know to tell the minister and put the horn up put the trumpet up in the corner of the page? You know, without even, you know, minister didn't even know what he was talking about. But he dropped little seeds on it, you know, knowing that at some point he would establish a publication, which is now called The Final Call. And years before that happened, he told him, and when you put it up on the left hand, you know, put it up in the corner page, however he said it, you know, how do you know that? You know, there's so many things that he said. Watch the weather. He said that the nation would be drawn, you know, it would be forced toward the interior. Yeah. And you see the oceans are rising. You see all the devastating weather that's taking place on the coastal areas that's forcing people to move inward. Right. And the fires that is forcing people to move, you know, inward to find safer places to live. So how did he know that, man? That's right. You know? And then he said, and that day
It is your righteousness that will sustain you. That's why we talk about righteousness on this show, because that's the only thing that's going to save you is your righteousness. Because, like, when I looked at some of these towns over the last couple of weeks that these violent storms have gone through, it looked like Gaza. And then we better pray. Yeah. We better pray that we are never in the crosshairs of one of those violent storms, because where we live can look like Gaza.
Well, I was just looking at a picture. That's
frightening, brother.
Yeah, I was looking at a picture today, and I mean, I said, man, I hope there wasn't no black people in there. And then the picture came up, the black ladies' roof was gone, but he told us to separate. He told us to.
That's right. That's right.
And we just haven't done it. So we're going to catch it too.
Right, and think about this. Biden is putting the American people in peril by what he's doing, by sending the weapons to Israel, letting them do what they want to do, and killing all those people, and it's falling right back on us.
And losing friends as he does it around the world. Losing the friendships.
This is a serious time. This is a serious time, man. I think about it all the time, but I said, man, we got to get ourselves together, because what's coming, we're not ready for it.
Yeah. Well, we are warning is mercy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So every week, brothers and sisters, we are here, and we're trying to be good students, and we're trying to be good warners. That's why we are saying to you, look, read, consider the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Look at it for yourself. Don't let nobody make up your mind.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna let somebody make up your mind for you? When you have the ability to think, you have the ability to discern, and when you look at like we talked earlier, the breakup of family, the breakup of just the society in general, man, this is in trouble. But we don't have to be in all that trouble unless we reject good guidance, man. It's not inevitable.
Right.
Let me say that. It's only inevitable if we don't make the right choice.
That's right.
It's not inevitable. Because God comes to give you, he don't give you a warning so you can be unsuccessful. He gives you a warning and a warning so you can be successful. But a warning can only benefit one who heeds it.
And there's a price you got to pay for rejecting the warning.
Yeah. Yeah. And the first thing is you got to hear the warning.
That's right.
So that's why we out here trying to warn you, brothers and sisters. We ain't playing with this. It's not a game to us.
That's right.
Come on now. That's right.
We're trying to help the warner. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's right. We're helping them. Yes, sir. Doing our part.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well,
get the final call. Get the final call. Go to NOI.org. Check out your local mosque and study group. Check out Brother Ishmael at NOI.org on Sunday, 10 o'clock Chicago time. And listen. That's all we saying. Mm-hmm. All we saying is just listen. Just listen.
Yeah. That's what you said.
That's all. That's all I did. Man, I came and I listened, and I liked what I heard. I went from Negro to Muslim in a weekend, man.
Go ahead.
Went home, man, brother. Went home and Negro that Friday. Went home and Negro that Friday and showed up as a Muslim that Monday. And didn't have no idea when I left Friday I was going to come back a Muslim. Because Allah is my witness, but it was just my time, brother.
Very good.
You know?
Yes, sir.
Just my time.
Well, there ain't nothing like it, man. I tell you, I thank Allah for y'all. I thank Allah for our audience. Thank Allah for WVON letting us have this program on every Tuesday night. We're here, brothers and sisters. And like my brothers have said, if you like what you've been hearing, please support us so we can continue the message and give out this warning. Like you say, we helping the warner get the message out. We just students, and we believe everything that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said and has given to his servant, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and we just parrots. We just parroting the message. Mm-hmm. So listen, why don't y'all get on your Cash App before that phone fall on your face? Because I know you're holding it up. Y'all had that phone fall on your face when you try to look at stuff, you fall asleep. $ straight words on Cash App. $ straight words on Cash App before you fall asleep. $ straight words on Cash App. 312-480-9775 on Zelle. 312-480-9775 on Zelle. And on the PayPal, straight words, the number 4 at gmail.com. Straight words, the number 4 at gmail.com on PayPal. Brothers and sisters, I hope that you are hearing how much we love you, because we have given our lives to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We use our talents. You have publishers, one of the two greatest publishers in the history of black media on this radio show, Brother Naba'a and Brother James G. Brother BJ is a radio personality. Editors. Yeah. And yes, right. The
minister is the publisher.
Right. The minister is the publisher. And you brothers have done a wonderful job in editing the content that he allows out to the public. And we thank y'all for just being with us, because this is a sacred moment in the history of Black America and what's about to take place. We want you to be a part of it and be informed so that you can save your family life and your life by just passing the message on. Something that you hear, boom, just pass it on and tell people to listen next week and come on back and let's do it again, because we're going to have some great content. So go to straightwords.com. Straightwords.com is the website. All the content that you may have missed from previous shows